We finally collected all the videos from the volunteers, distributed the funds, and are ready to share the results of our common effort. This time we managed to raise over $100,000, and now I will quickly tell you what we managed to do without taking too long. Last time, buying and transporting ambulance cars went absolutely smoothly, but this time we faced a lot of different problems. First, we sent the funds to Sergei Pritula Charity Foundation and got 7 vehicles. But then we got a few more large donations, so we risked buying 3 more cars to get a nice number of 10 ambulances. But hardly the vehicle crossed the border of Britain, one of them got the tire ruptured and couldn't continue with the convoy. So we rented a tow truck, replaced the wheel, and only then continued the way to Ukraine. When passing through Germany, one of the cars had its engine jammed. It was dragged to the service station, where the Germans said that the price of repairs will be €3,000. We decided that it would be easier and cheaper to fix in Ukraine, so we rented a truck to drag it to Poland and then moved it from Poland to Ukraine in a tow. Upon arrival, the repairman said that we need to buy a new engine. We still haven't found it, so the car is waiting for repair. If someone is selling such an engine for a Peugeot Boxer, we are willing to buy it. Almost all cars required some kind of a repair. In some cases, it was just necessary to replace the oil, filters and consumables, but in some, we had to change shock absorbers, chassis parts and other elements. We had many problems due to the clogged exhaust catalysts because each of them cost hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Some time ago, many craftsmen used to just work on their enthusiasm, but now they wanted to be paid for almost everything. But I understand them because each of them has a family and needs something to feed them. We also paid for almost all the painting, but still not as much as if we did it at a service station. Overall, we spent £67,600 on buying these 10 cars. The fuel for transportation of 10 cars from Europe to Ukraine, ferry tickets, return airline tickets for the drivers, transporting the broken car on a truck and then in a tow, repainting the 9 cars, minus the one that was asked not to paint, and repainting some details cost us about $13,000. Then we helped people by purchasing, delivering and distributing hundreds of kilos of humanitarian aid in the form of food and grocery sets. It would take a very long time to tell in detail about every single delivery and distribution of food, but believe me, we helped hundreds of people in one way or another. In cooperation with the Grateful Charity Foundation, we made a number of very useful purchases over the past several months. $4,600 were spent to buy this beautiful defibrillator for one of the hospitals. It is a device that literally brings a person back from the dead by starting their heart with an electric current when it stops breathing. For $950, we were able to provide the hospital with a distiller for water and a device for heating the body of a sick or injured person. $4,150 were spent on 40 tourniquets, used to bandage the wounded limbs of the injured to avoid a fatal loss of blood. Then there was 40 expensive bandages that the medics asked for and the same amount of nasopharyngeal airways. I don't know what these tubes and bandages are used for, but everything we bought was only on the request from the medics. That sum also includes 3 tactical medical kits in the backpacks for the medics. Also, later we found tourniquets at an even better price and additionally sent as many as 324 of them to eastern Ukraine. $3,800 were spent on an electric cardiograph for measuring heart activity, many bone fixation machines for fractures, and several sets of artificial bone in pellets, which replace human bone tissue. We also spent almost $5,200 on a portable ultrasound scanner. It allows seeing right on the spot the condition of the damage to organs inside the human body and deciding what steps are necessary to save a person. Usually these machines are very large, but this one can fit in a pocket. Plus, this sum includes 8 power banks for the medics. During the New York's holidays, one of the charitable organizations held a holiday party for children affected by the war. But they didn't have money for sweets for those children. So we bought 300 of these gift baskets of chocolate figures, which were given to children during the events. I hope that these gifts cheer them up a bit. Also, we handed out 100 sweet packages directly in frontline villages. Children living there eat sweets quite rarely, because they often do not have enough money even for the most necessary food. Medical volunteers from the Pirigov Volunteer Mobile Hospital received from us a good diesel generator, which can power the medical equipment and everything the medical staff may need while staying in the combat zone. We also transferred them additional $1,300 to buy the equipment they needed. When contacting the charity foundation, they also asked if we could help buy an oxygen concentrator for the boy whose name is Yehor and who cannot breathe properly without this device. His old concentrator was very weak and did not provide enough oxygen. Out of my contribution part, I ordered such a concentrator from Europe for $1,300 and organized its delivery to Ukraine. In Ukraine, it costs almost twice as much. Yehor was very happy with it, and it made his life much easier. Do you remember the volunteer Victoriia taking care of the dog shelter? This time, we also helped her dogs and her friends' kitties by sending them about $500 of my personal money and $180 of the money we raised. Together with the guys from Case's organization, we managed to implement one really cool thing. Thanks to your donations, we were able to go to the village of Drobioshevo and help its villagers by making a shelter for people in need out of an old house. For the money you sent us, we bought them a generator and firewood to provide them with electricity and heating for the whole winter. Now it's always possible to drink hot tea, get warm, charge smartphones or flashlights. The guys brought food, warm clothes and medicine to the house, and the people in need could come and get them. They also brought a radio so that the people had at least some connection with civilization and a TV set with installed programs, movies and even videos from our channel. This house became a sort of an invincibility center for the village, and now everyone can come there for help. Also, in the shelter, they also organized a mini bakery and provided it with flour to bake bread for the elderly, the number of which is huge in this village, because they have nowhere to run. The people who baked the bread were paid a wage, thus it became possible to give people a job. Because of the war, almost all the young people, including doctors, left the village. And so the elderly people had nowhere to get any medical care. This is why we also decided to create a medical center where people could receive online medical advice from doctors located in other towns. We also purchased a Starlink internet connection and a laptop computer to allow people to connect with specialists via video link and communicate with them. Then we bought the medical equipment, a pulse oximeter to measure pulse and a cardiograph to measure heart rate. All these indicators are broadcasted to the doctors, who also listen to the patient's complaints online. Then, with the help of a printer, the patient can get recommendations and prescriptions for medication. The medicines are also brought from the city by the Cases guys. Moreover, now this mobile medical station also travels to neighboring villages and conducts consultations for people in need of medical care. A lot of the houses in the village were damaged and had shattered windows. So we hired a craftsman, purchased some tools and about 100 of these wooden slabs. They were used to boarding up the broken windows in the damaged houses, because winter was coming and it was very cold inside. And with your help, dozens of these houses were repaired. We also collected $1,851 at our foreign channels thanks to the super likes you gave us in the comments. We sent these funds to support volunteers at Hotabich ASAP Rescue. They evacuate people from the hottest spots and give first aid to victims literally in the first minutes after the shelling. They are always in need of funds for fuel, medicine and car repairs. We still have $680 left from my share of the contribution of $5,800, and I will save them to buy an engine for the ambulance. I hope that's enough, but if not, I'll add as much as needed. More details about the expenditure of this fundraising you can find in the Google Sheet I will leave in the description. During the time together with you, we were able to do a lot of great things, buy as many as 16 ambulances and a lot of medical equipment that will probably save and continue saving dozens or even hundreds of lives. Together, we helped many people and animals survive this winter and set a good example for others. If you are eager to help, below the video you can find the links to charitable foundations, which are doing the same thing I was trying to do. Only they are spending all their time on the charity, so they are working much faster and probably much more productively than I did. Meanwhile, I myself will continue to make donations and engage everyone to the best of their abilities to help people survive this incredibly difficult time.